How you doing, good people? This is the 8-Bit Animal. Okay, so today's game is a home port of an Atari-made arcade title. The title is from 1987, and most notably about this title, it was featured in Wreck-It Ralph. So it has some Hollywood cred. It's actually it's a well-known title, I would say. Probably because it popped up everywhere in the late 80s at some point, but it's one of those games that's known but not known, you know. And it also appeared in Midway Arcade Treasures Volume, I want to say Volume 1, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, it was Volume 1. I'm sorry. Today's game is Roadblasters. Okay, so Roadblasters, you have this car with, it's a souped up sports car with weapons on it. Not unlike the car in Spy Hunter, but actually a lot less cool. This game is set in the future. You're driving through 50 different landscapes, 50 different levels, I should say. Destroying everything that comes in your path, that crosses your path, collecting power-ups, collecting fuel, making it to the goal. That's pretty much it. And this happens in a series of short waves. Kind of like, your Defender, your Joust, stuff like that. Now, one of the interesting things about Road Blaster, or at least the NES version, is that it was published by Mindscape. Now, Mindscape handled one or two NES ports of Atari arcade games. This and Road Blaster and Paperboy, most notably. And it's interesting to note that because before this, or while this was going on, Tengen, or Tengen, however you just want to pronounce it, they were handling the home ports of Atari titles. So it was really interesting to note that this game was originally created by Atari Games, but the home port for the NES was handled by Mindscape, published by Mindscape. I believe Tengen handled the development for this, much like I think they handled the development for Paperboy. But it's whatever with that. Whoever published it is inconsequential as long as the game's good. And Road Blasters is actually pretty close to the arcade port. Well, the arcade version of the game. The only thing it's missed, the graphics aren't they don't pop as much as the arcade version, but that's because the NES is decidedly less powerful than the arcade tech that Atari was using at that time. There's also no voice in this game, whereas in the arcade version there was a lot of voice in it. There was a lot of speech in the game, stuff like that, but it wasn't in this game. It's also notable that there was actually some speech in Gauntlet 2, the NES port of Gauntlet 2, whereas there was none in this game, and Gauntlet 2 was also published by Mindscape. Mindscape actually does not have a long history of really solid video games. Some of the games that they handled for Atari were pretty solid. They were probably Mindscape's high points. Because like I said, they're one of those companies like High Tech Expressions and companies like that really didn't have a big legacy of just really solid titles. Their performance was spotty at best. But you find a copy of Road Blasters, you can find one dirt cheap, and you will thank yourself because it's a solid port of a really good arcade title. This has been 8-Bit Animal, and I'll catch you beautiful people tomorrow.